We are live in the time right now, seeing a big breakout to the upside on Bitcoin. I want to take advantage of this situation to show you how I'm going to be reading the order flow live in the time, making informed decisions of really simply, is there a short trade to be had right now? Or should we be waiting for brand new all-time highs? We're only about 3.6% away from a brand new all-time high, so we're pretty close. But of course, there's lots of trades to be had before then. So let's go and I will show you how I will dissect this information, dissect this chart to make an informed decision of the next trade to be taken. So to do that, I actually want to start off with straight away, and then I will remind us from the last video, but straight away, just to show you what we've been trading from this morning, we have had a lower term time frame range. That was the mini range high. That was our mini range low. So you can see we put in a low, we put in the high, we put in the low, we put in an ever so slight lower high, and we've done this little bit of a fake out of a mini range low. That brought us through the big level that we had of the daily naked point of control and Sunday's high of around $105,500. Upon seeing this breakout to the upside, we have seen open interest increasing. And that has actually been happening throughout the whole of that range, which is pretty nice to see. But we have seen that another open interest increase on high positive delta on, this is not the best volume, but it's pretty good for where we are, to be fair. So I would say that right now as it stands, this is a healthy breakout. And where we are right now at $106,000, there is no short trade for me to be had right now. I want to explain that in more detail, of course, in this video. But that's just the first bit of information, because that's really key, right? Because that's exactly the decision that I'm making now. And then over the next 10, 15 minutes, let's see, was I correct to not short here, or was I wrong? Let's wait and see as we continue to make this video. But for me, yeah, there is no short to be had right now because of the order flow on the initial break of this high. And now I want to pick up where we left off in last video. That was while we were trading around $102,000. And that was 2 or 3 days ago now. I posted on YouTube. So this is the update I'm referring to, the YouTube update. And I said I was waiting for one of two things, and I was happy to see either. I was 50-50. I don't mind whether we get the drop to around $96,000 or whether we get the rise, and that is what happened, of course, to the daily naked point of control on Sunday's highs, which was around $105,500. So of the two scenarios, I didn't really care which one we got. If we had got the drop, I was going to take a long trade. If we got the rise, I was going to take my short trade. So of course, we got the rise and we come up into looking for these short trades. Now I want to show you what happened next with this lower term time frame 5-minute chart. So first of all, we had the initial rise on FOMC. You know, we were talking about the importance of the FOMC drop, the news drop I'm referring to there, right? The really important news drop that was coming on FOMC. We all knew that this is the time to be waiting for. That was yesterday at 7 p.m. So yesterday at 7 p.m., we actually started to initially get this volatility come in. You can see the very big move to the upside, 7:30. So within half an hour of the meetings, etc., going on, we started to get a rally to the upside. So the first thing that I want to bring your attention to there is how we went relatively sideways for nearly 2 days. Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday evening is when we got the move to the upside. So more or less, let's just call it 2 days of relatively sideways price action. Why was that? Where a lot of people were simply waiting for this volume injection into the market. That's what we were waiting for, right? Just a volume injection. We didn't know whether FOMC would bring a drop or it would bring a rise in price. That is what we have to wait to see how the market reacts. As I would always say, wait for the market to show its hand. We didn't need to really know whether it caused a pump or a dump, because we are simply waiting while we're trading at this section of the chart for the move to the downside for the long or the move to the upside for the short. So it was simply a bit of patience required. Then on yesterday evening, so Wednesday evening, you put in this high here at 104,700, and that has not hit our liquidity off of Sunday's high. It has not hit the daily naked, neither at the time the weekly naked point of control. So at this point in time, you have to be extremely patient. There's no short trade to be had, and the highest probability is continuation to the upside. Why? Well, you have broken out of that old high that you had during the week's price action. So you've broken out above that high. you have not hit the resistance for the short. So you're in what I would class as a bit of no man's land. You don't want to be taking any longs or shorts, really. I wouldn't be at this point in time. I would be remaining patient for the bigger targets around 105, or alternatively a bit of a pullback. But at this point of time, you definitely are expecting higher prices and no front runs of these key levels. And then you get a bit of a resistance support flip. So this zone, you can say, of resistance, ultimately flipping back into support to aid this continuation to the upside. And that is exactly what we got. And that is where this morning we actually hit into the Sunday's high on the daily naked point of control. And I did take a short trade this morning upon seeing this price action. In the end, we went sideways for the next few hours. So I was talking my team through the short trade that I had taken during the daily morning trading update. And during the daily morning trading update is where I also gave them this sideways channel to be trading. Of course, on these sideways channels, you look for the short. Of course, I was already in a short, but looking for another short off of a potential fake out of the range high. And you can look for the long trade down at the range low. Okay, it's just simply what we class as a mini range, and I do enjoy trading these mini ranges. Again, I would not refer to myself as a day trader anymore, but nevertheless, when you are given these mini ranges, the first touches of the fake out either side there, such good trades, I will trade them. And so this is what we were looking at. I was personally already in the short trade, but I was aware that if we get a fake out to the upside, I will take another short. And if we get the fake out to the downside, there is that long trade opportunity. Well, I think you all know what happened next. This was actually a live stream around 9 a.m. UK time, and around New York Open is where we finally got that breakout. But you can see what's been the case over the last few days. Patience has been very much required. During the stages, by the way, of this mini range as we were going along, we did start to get this really big bullish CVD divergences, and I was explaining my team during the live stream that the highest probability is continuation to the upside based off the time that the high was put in, and of course the bullish CVD divergences and the trend that we are seeing on the higher term time frames, on the medium and the lower term time frames. Everything is up and everything is bullish, right? We are in a bull market. So all of those factor together, of course, lead us to believe new highs would come in terms of the highest probability. In the end, you did go down and you did take out that range low. So that was the scenario where you could have locked in a long trade off of that little bit of a fake out of the 5-minute chart range low. That is what it looked like. And of course, at this point, the next thing, bam, we are breaking up to $106,000. So, if anyone caught the long trade from that range low, congratulations. And then I go on to tell my team, and there is the breakout, right? We see it in the New York session initial balance. That is what we were wanting to see or expecting to see in terms of the highest probabilities. And I did have, this is the thing that I want you to remember, I did have a short trade from within the range. So I did take a loss on that particular day trade. And for me, that's fine. I've took the loss. I'm already out of the trade. And then I go on to tell my team, for me now, there is not another short trade to be had here. Why? Because, well, just as I was looking to long the range low, I was looking to short the range high. So that means if we come down to the low, I look for the long. If we come up to the high and done a fake out, similar to what we got in the end at the range low, right? That is a fake out at the range low. If we had done the same at the highs, I would have took another short trade. But what's happened here? We've gone straight through the level. And this is the importance of waiting for the reaction. If you preset your short trade at the range high, you're instantly underwater, and you're still underwater now, to be fair. Whereas what I am waiting for is a confirmation, and that is a sign of weakness. So what I am going through here is, for me, there is not a short trade to be had right now because we have not seen a fake out. As it stands, we have seen a breakout above that channel high. And while that is the case, I am not shorting Bitcoin, okay? If we, which we could see during this exact video, get our move back into the range, and there's two steps of confirmation. Number one, into the range. Number two is losing the value area high. That is going to be a invalidation of about 1% from the point of control. This point of control I took from the actual range itself. You can see if you do include the new price action, you do have a slightly different value. I do like to take it from what is known as I would class this as the previous range, like the range that we were trading in before the breakout. So for me, I hope that you are not getting too confused, because I do understand it's fairly complex what we're going on, or, what we're talking about here. So to summarize, we had a lot of patience required. So really simple summary. Last video, we're trading at $102,000. I don't really care if we drop to 96,000 or we pump to 105. I know the exact setups I'm looking for at either place. In the end, we pumped to 105,500. I take a short trade off of the rejection that we have seen from the daily naked point of control. At that point, I require a little bit more patience to see how the next thing progresses, but I did recognize the highest probability is continuation to the upside, so I did expect to be stopped. What happens next is we get a fake out of that mini range 5-minute chart low. And after that fake out of the low, you get a move to the upside. On that move to the upside, we saw open interest increases. So for me, there is no aggressive short trade to be had here. But now, as we are breaking back into the range, this for me is a short trade. And I am actually going to take it right now. So if you can just bear with me a second. So I take all my trades on my phone. And I am going to take this short. While I'm taking this short, I will give a shout out to Bybit. This is the platform that I am trading on. If you are interested in trading on Bybit, you should absolutely do your own research and check it out. But I do recommend it. It's the platform that I've used for the past, 7 years on Bybit. And I've never had a problem with this exchange. Zero problems. But of course, I would always say do your own research. But at the same time, I like to trade on the exchange. It's decent. I've never had any problems, and that is where I am taking this short trade right now. So there we go. I am now in the short. So I took a little bit of an aggressive option here, as we are just simply getting back into the channel. The other option would be waiting for the value area high lost, but I do not want to take. I'm just happy to have got in now. So basically, the setup now is going to be looking at around 1% invalidation, just under. Actually, we'll be looking for a bigger drop to the downside. Okay, this bigger drop does not necessarily have to come all the way back down here, but hey, I would like that, I suppose. But I will look to take a small take profit one and then let the rest of the trade run. Because of the fake out that we've already seen today, actually would not be looking for my first take profit anymore down at these lows, because that's already happened off of the session VWAP. So actually would be more interested in a larger move to the downside there. There's two areas of interest, I suppose, actually. So I might lock in like a very small percentage take profit if we get a fake out of this low here. So should we see a fake out? What I mean by a fake out of that low is if it does something like this, hits that low, and we get a reaction, I wouldn't be saying it's a bad idea for me to lock in a small percentage take profit, because that is support of this local uptrend anchored VWAP, right, just below these lows. So say a minor level of support. But of course, I would prefer to see a larger drop to the downside. And I would say that would be coming in at, let me just hide this. There is a few areas of interest for myself here. So this is the second short that I've taken today. The first short I did lose. So maybe I take 2 losses in a row. It's not the end of the world, but I kind of like this zone around the daily. We also have a naked point of control there as well. I will show. So we have the daily naked point of control there. We have the daily itself and the CC, of course, just below. See how this has changed now. Point of control coming in at 102, and that will be around this CC now. Yeah, so I would say it depends on the reaction that we get at this low. Let's say we just get the move straight down through the low, then I would be looking for the take profit one at this point of control, to be honest with you, because I do like to take both, just a small take profit, but I do like to take profit ones. So I do not like to be too, greedy, let's say, on them. So I'll be looking for this low here as a small take profit 1% if we get the reaction. Preferably we don't, and we drop down. That's where I'll be looking for a nice take profit one off of that CC and point of control. Of course, I would like to see it broken to the downside, but I will wait and see, because of course, That does offer a long trade opportunity, building a low, high, higher low, higher high. You can come down here for your higher low, get a continuation. That's why for me that's such a key level to take a take profit. The trend line, no, I'm not too bothered on that trend line. So that's the way that I'd be viewing this, is in terms of my very, very aggressive take profit, preferred take profit 1. And then I'd make an informed decision, much like I make the informed decision of going on here. I'd make the same informed decision if, of course, we start to break down. But nevertheless, if we hit this point of control with the bullish reaction for another higher low. So that is my thought process and decision making here. Invalidation is simply going to be above this high. So let's place the alerts so you can see if that alert goes off. But otherwise, for me, there is no need to make any other decisions or trades. The only thing that you can do is monitor order flow. And if there is a sign to close, I could close this trade early. Again, it would be a loss. But sometimes I will make an informed decision, right? So if I have my invalidation above this high, which is my stop loss, if you don't know invalidation, like that's where my stop loss will be, above this high, I could see the signs of strength coming in locally and close out $106,050 rather than holding to invalidation $106,500. So that is something that we can do. I'm happy to monitor this for the next few minutes here on video, and I will tell you whether I would do that. Currently, with what I see on the order flow, no, I will not do this. So yeah, we saw the big longs breaking out back down below the point of control of that candle. So that's going to be a big level. You can actually see here, point of control of the breakout candle, flipping it to very locally here on a 3-minute chart, but flipping to resistance. We got the continuation on all low volume. So yeah, for me, this pullback here, decreasing open interest, of course, a little bit of longs opening up, but that's not a reason for me to close this trade early. So we'll continue to monitor for the next few minutes here. I hope that you find this educational. What I do like to do is monitor Bitcoin on the left now, ES on the right. So ES had its rise on New York Open as well, very similar to Bitcoin, you can see. ES actually retracing all of this move to the downside. Bitcoin not quite yet, but this is a good sign for a further Bitcoin fall. NQ the same, even getting more continuation to the downside. And I do like to pair this with NVIDIA, and NVIDIA is also pulling back here. So these are all positive signs for the short trade. And I know from experience as well that some people would be sweating right now. Again, why? Because my position is underwater. So I have here my invalidation. And I know a lot of people at this point, they're going to be thinking, oh my God, why did I take the short? I'm already in a losing trade. This is the end of the world. But no, my friends, for me, the invalidation is not hit. There is no strength on this move to the upside in the order flow. There is no strength in our correlated markets right now. They are continuing to drop. You know, NVIDIA is the weakest of them all. There is no reason to be worried. Okay, what I will give you as a bit of a tip here is, I think it's very, very, very unlikely. Let's say commonly, because sometimes we can do it, but nevertheless, it's unlikely that you get the exact dollar high, right? That's a very unlikely thing to happen. You're never going to be looking to get the exact dollar high or the exact dollar low of your longs or short trades. So if you enter a short trade here, you have to give it space. You have to give that space to breathe. Okay, I'm never going to be getting in the exact trade and never have any drawdown, right? I'm expecting to have some drawdown in the trade. What I would say from an from a perspective, looking at this trade is, I could, and you could say should have, waited for this value area high to be lost. I went for the aggressive option. But if I had listened to what I even told the members, and that was actually wait for the value area high to be lost. So you can see if I had waited, for what I told all the champions, I would not be in this short trade right now, because I was saying to wait for this low to be lost. But for me, yeah, well, maybe that was the wrong decision. I will upload this video, whatever happens, by the way. So if I get stopped out, we'll see it stopped out on video. If it ends up in a win, you'll see me take the win. But, you know, I'm not going to hide away or shy away from this video, right? So I've took enough wins. If I take a few losses here, it's just part of the game. And I might be taking the loss, but let's take a look at again, the order flow is not telling me a reason to close early here. I have no reason to close this trade early. There's nothing here on the order flow that tells me this is bullish, that we're going to be taking this high. I didn't want this video to be too long, but I do think that there is a lot of value in me just remaining on this video. So it might be a bit of a longer video than normal. Altcoin's having a very good day. And with that, shout out to Severin's altcoin stream today. He's in a live trading stream right now. But he also, as well, this morning had, look at this, you've had today, this is in one day, you've had a stock market daily morning trading update live stream. You've had a daily update for myself for Bitcoin, where I did go through the charts. Then you have had today a live stream of altcoins, going through so many different altcoin trades. And now you have a live trading stream going on. And you have even content here on YouTube. That is a lot of content. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 content releases today. That is 1 publicly for free and 4 content releases today for the members. And if you take into consideration the daily update sheets as well that we do for the ES and Bitcoin, that is 7. So even more wonderful bits of content. But yeah, for me, look at this. Open interest all declining. Nothing bullish about that. So this is a standard retest, of course. If I am wrong, I can acknowledge how I was wrong and I made the wrong decision. What I went for was looking for this to make the lower high come back down, right? If I lose this trade, I will have the understanding of, okay, we come down, we back tested that value area high zone, and we pump. I made the wrong decision and I lost my trade, if that is the case. But you know, you can see the importance here of analyzing the trade as it's ongoing, seeing if there's a reason to close early, but most importantly, right, understanding when you're right, when you're wrong. You know, I would journal this saying I was a little bit too aggressive of the short here. Would not normally have done that, but I think I was slightly influenced by doing a video. But nevertheless, I'm not going to have that as an excuse. But yeah, I think if I lose this trade, I will understand why. I was too aggressive, to be honest, on this. I got a bit excited because I was on the video. I should have waited for the loss of the value area high. Or even got a better entry now. I actually think I'm going to compound this. So I'm going to increase my leverage to times 2.5. And I will actually compound this. So that's going to bring it up a lot, my entry, which is going to give me more something like this. And the reason I'm going to compound this now is because of the order flow here. I really do think that we're going to do something like this. High, low, lower high, down. So that's why I want to compound. Again, what's the risk here? Well, I'm going to take an even bigger loss should I hit my invalidation. So should we actually hit this invalidation? I will take a bigger loss because I'm going to increase my position size here. Okay. Let's keep our eye on things. Reason this video is going to be longer than normal, I do hope, you'll have to let me know in the comments, was this valuable or should have I ended the video 10 minutes ago? I believe it's valuable. You can see the decision-making process. You've even seen the understanding of the compounds. So you can actually see the rebounds happening on the stock market. And so that is obviously what I would class as a confluence, but not a be-all, end-all. The most important for me right now, again, we're on a 3, I could be on a 1-minute chart here. So we're 1-minute chart trading. So with 1-minute charts, the most important really is the order flow. Want to load this up on the desktop a second. Because this is the template that I like the most, but I do refer to both. Try and offer you some insights here. So yeah, there's not too much to go off here, to be fair. We have very averaged time per candle, so the volume is nothing crazy. It's fairly average when you're not at a massive level of liquidity. Trade counts actually pretty high for this breakout, so I would say that this was a lot of smaller traders trading rather than one big player going for the push, which adds, for me, I view this as bear. Let me just make sure you can see everything here. So for me, this is under more of a bearish context. And that's by the understanding of trade counts. Not many liquidations, by the way, so that's fairly low liquidations. But you can see the half of my life as a trader is simply being patient. So I'd be patient for 3 days in a row waiting for this level. And now I've took the trade. This is the thing, right? When do I end the video? Because we could be going sideways here for another like 2 hours. I have to make a decision. I will either end the video here and upload it and we'll see how it plays out, or I'll stay and hope that we see a big move in the next 5 minutes. Again, I don't mind if I get stopped out of this trade. I will upload it, and if we win the trade, hey, even better. But of course, it's just a minor take profit. I think I will take the little take profit here, to be honest, at the lows. Of course, I would like to see it run more for lower. But this type of reaction that we've seen so far with the ES and NQ pulling up, I don't think it's a bad idea to take a small take profit there. So the VWAP is going to be resistance, which I like to know. Look at that, really perfect that the ES and NQ have now flipped VWAP to resistance. Of course, Bitcoin still has it as support. But it is what it is. I mean, yeah, open interest still decreasing. I think really to talk about there. There's no reason for me to close my trade. Even though it is currently underwater, I have no technical reason to close it early. I think I'm going to upload this because, again, we could easily go sideways here for another 2 hours. So I think I will just end this video and upload. So by the time, this will probably take about 20 minutes-ish to render and upload. So the video should be published maximum 4:15. I think I will end it now because I've offered you my insights and nothing here is changing. And I don't want to just be in a position, if we go sideways for another 2 hours, this video just becomes incredibly long for no real reason now. So yeah, that's the summary of the lower term time frame. I do believe that we're going to get the lower high and drop here. I would say the only mistake or thing that I could have done better is not to be so aggressive of the short here. I would have shorted this retest that's happening right now. I would have shorted this retest because I do believe we're going to drop. But I would have had a slightly better entry because I didn't need to short here and compound. I could have just shorted now on the retest. Again, this retest is absolutely fine. And that is my last limit order there filled of the compounds. I have now got my full position filled. So that is it. I am in the make or break scenario. Yeah, I've just had my final limit order filled there, 106. So now we'll wait and see. Let's see. Maybe I get stopped out. Anyway, I think I will wrap it up. I will render and upload straight away. For reference, to know if I've lost this trade, do we take out the high made at 3:10, Thursday the 30th of January, UK time, 3:10? Or do we first come down and take out the lows made just prior to New York Open, and then I will be better off? If we go up and take out this high, you know already I've been stopped out of this trade. If we come down and you see I've uploaded or whatever and it's down here, you know I'll be a happy man. If it comes up here, I'll still be a happy man, but I would have taken a loss there on this trade setup. But no, I believe we're going to get the retest and drop. ES, literally VWAP right above us as resistance. NQ, VWAP as resistance. NVIDIA hovering down below its lows, looking for taking out the weekly low. So I would like to see NVIDIA drop a little bit here. Bitcoin, I believe, has just done its retest of 106,150, and it will be down from there. If you wonder, by the way, why I was looking at that last compound here, just as on this candle, the point of control is important. On the absolute high, we had this 3.1 million delta candle on open interest increases, and that's where the point of control is. Okay, so I like to use this as a reference. So that's why I was placing my last limit orders just prior to this. And that's why I had the drawing up to that level, by the way. So yeah, we'll wait and see now. I will upload it. It will be fun. If I win, if I lose, let's wait and see. But at least I gave you some insights of my thought process. So I hope you've enjoyed. A bit of a different video than normal. It's really not often that I will upload this type of video. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed. Thank you ever so much. And that's me signing out. Goodbye.